but it just comes from front swing. It's that one.
Yes, correct. Into the 10 to 2.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So, no, exactly. So that's the first one.
Yeah.
Down swing and turn. So, down swing. I should be able to do this one-handed. Okay, so we do just step back a little bit. So basically here, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, and then basically, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dutchman, yeah, shuffle on the production, like this, yeah, the flowing Dutchman, yeah, the flowing Dutchman.
Boom, and welcome to another video of the Flowing Dutchman. Now, we've got special guests here, the Grandmaster, Paul Wolkowicki. Paul has been major influence on my personal development with Mace and clubs, and he was also the inspiration when I saw his videos when he went to India. And I remember having watched those. It was not the reason why I went to India, but it was the reason that when I was in India, I was like, hey, I remember, that there's actually Gadas and Gada. So the first city that we entered and also not planned was Varanasi.
Really?
So yeah, so then I just asked
and that's really almost like the northern centre of it all, isn't it?
Yeah, I just asked the tuk-tuk driver and said, let's go. And do you know any place? And he asked money for it. Eventually we found out that it wasn't even necessary. But that's when you first enter a country for the first time. But it's just it's a great pleasure to be here. Always.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're very welcome.
It's really cool. Now in this video, we'd like to talk a little bit about pivots and body turns because I like them personally. I use them a lot with almost all the tools that I use. Paul also likes them a lot. He uses them a lot with the Gada and with the light clubs. I think also with the Persian wheels.
Yes.
So let's talk about it.
Sure.
Do you want to start?
Yeah. So I think I'll just start with the first turn that I ever did. When I did it, was to swing up to one side and let the Gada head hang over my shoulder, turn the body and then let it swing back behind my back. That was the first one. So shall I just do a quick demo of that? Yeah, so if I just stand, I'll do it with my back to the camera. So basically it swings up and turn, and then carry on turning. So that's the first one.
That's fascinating that will be the first one because this is the most counterintuitive pivot of them all. Because you're actually not really following the momentum of the
no, you're letting it hang.
It's you're using the momentum of the hands where they're moving to move with your feet, but you're not using the actual weight to move you
to drive it.
Yes, correct.
But can I show you the inspiration for this? Was with a pair of Indian clubs, and again I'll show it to you in the same in the same direction. So hang on, the other way. So it's this way, that way, and up and down. There. So you're
following the momentum
No.
now.
So basically I'm swinging them. Oh God, you confused me now. No, that's right. I'm swinging them up.
Yeah.
Drop.
The reason I'm confusing you is because you're used to swinging Gada, and with the Gada you don't have a front swing because it's usually too large.
Yes.
And I learned to swing with a Mace, a steel one. So those are usually shorter. So the actual thing that I use with the Mace and teach always the first time is the actual front swing.
Right.
And if you do a front swing with the Mace, you're always following the momentum.
Yes.
Right? So you have to move with the hips, with the weight.
Yeah.
Now, if you are using that part of the swing, the bottom part, but then with the Gada, and you're not swinging the weight down, you're keeping it up, you're actually using the handle to pivot instead of the actual weight. So you're using this point to to actually shift, where you're using this one, and then you can use the next one.
Yes.
So that would be.
Okay, can you just do that again? Sorry, just to catch it again. Sorry.
So there's a.
That's on the down. Yeah. Okay.
So there's one at the back
Yeah.
and one in the front. So that would be 360. That's how you would turn those two. But if you're just using a 360, then you would turn. Now I'm turning on the bottom part. You see, I'm using that hand motion to move, which would be similar if I do it like that.
Right.
So if I do a figure 8, like this, that's what you were doing with the clubs.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So because you're not doing the front swing and you keep it here, you're using this part.
Right.
But you're not really using the weight to move you through to the next pivot.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm getting it. I'll have to play around with that.
Because if you're doing clubs, you're never really doing this.
No, true.
Because this would be similar to what you
Yeah.
were doing.
Okay. No, that makes sense now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
This would be what you were doing with the. But that doesn't make sense with the high clubs.
Sure.
Because it's really weird.
Yeah.
With a very heavy one, it does.
Yeah. We can go to the next. The next one is basically on the. Hang on. I'll start again the same way. So I'll just throw 180. So it's up and over. So basically it's a complete circle, one followed by the other.
Yeah.
And that's all done on the upswing. Then you can do the same. So now, so I'm swinging I'm swinging that way. So that's the upswing. There's the upswing.
With the upswing, you mean that it comes up?
Coming up.
Yeah, the way.
And then turning, and then there.
Right.
Okay. So now going in reverse. So I'm going to turn now to my right. So here I've been turning to my left. So
yeah.
Okay, now turn. So that's the upswing. And now turning here.
Right.
So I'm swinging I'm turning on the downswing of the Gada.
So that means the downswing. You mean when the pendulum starts to fall?
Yes. So let me do it again for you. Okay. Sorry. No, sorry. I'll go this way. So this is the upswing. So there. Here again, upswing. There. And I'm putting it. So and now downswing is here. Down.
Yeah, it's confusing because I use a different terminology. So I'm trying to layer it back.
I think my terminology is related to Indian clubs. Though.
Yeah.
That's probably why. Because I mean, I'm just going to go back.
What I'm wondering.
Go on.
What I'm wondering is then where's your third one? Because you said you had.
No, there's three. So one is literally swinging up, hovering over the shoulder.
So this.
No. Yeah, so that was nearly there. So you swing it right up and turn.
But you turn before the momentum?
No. You swing it. I want you to just go down on your left side, swing it up to the right.
And
as it hovers over your shoulder, you turn then. Got to be real quick. That's it? Yeah. Yeah, and then basically, then, from a, hang on, let me just swap positions again. So from there, it's, so here, turn there. And then basically, and it's also geared by the drawdown of the handle.
It's, because there's basically a 300 or a 10 to 2.
Yeah, so I mean, and basically then from if you do a 10 to 2, so do it from this side, and you just carry on into the 10 to 2.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So there it is there. So that's the first one.
Yeah.
And so now on the upswing, over the top, down. And you carry on with a 10 to 2. So upswing, over the top, and down. And now on the downswing, down. So there's an extra circle in there. Downswing, down. That's the third one. Let's just pop that out of the way for a minute.
Yeah.
And I want to show you this with Indian clubs. So if you just go move over there. So with Indian clubs, we've got the parallel swing here. And now, basically, if I want to turn, downswing and turn. So downswing and turn. Okay. And now I'm going to turn with the upswing and turn.
Okay, so for your up terminology, an upswing, turn at the upswing is basically turning with the front swing, the front circle. You're turning with.
Yes, I'm coming out of the front circle.
Yeah,
yes,
you're,
correct.
you're coming out of the front swing.
Yeah.
And with the
downswing,
you're coming out of the back swing.
I'm coming out of the back circle.
Okay.
So consequently,
yeah.
And so and that means that basically that I can go upswing, back, down,
Yeah,
360. Yeah.
That's what I get. So if we're talking that terminology, what would then be the third one? How would you categorize that?
No, well the third one is basically a float. That's
That came from the
swinging
that
up.
came from the front swing.
You're coming from oh yeah. I mean then into the back swing.
Right, so it's not necessarily a different pivot, it's more of a turn.
It's a transition.
Direction. Yeah, it's a transition that you incorporate.
Well, I mean I class them all as transitions basically.
Yeah, because that's what you're doing with the last one, is you're kind of you're changing the direction of the mace. It's not going from left to right.
Yes, and then in Indian clubs you can get much more complex with that because, for instance, I'm going to swing down to my right now, down to my right, and if I turn now here, float down to my right. So I haven't changed direction, as opposed to if I change like this and now I'm swinging down to my left.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
So the float is a sort of major sort of part of Indian clubs more. But that's how I started doing the float with the Gada.
Well, no, it's also part of the mace, but it just comes from front swing. It's that one.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
That's the one.
Right. There you go. Yeah. But you're doing it at the front of the body and I'm doing it behind the body. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the shift that you are talking about. This one where you're coming, but you're basically doing
correct.
You're transitioning
So that's
in the 300 position here.
Yes. Yeah. That's it. And then, of course, when I was sort of at my weakest point,
Direction 2.
no, wait. So at the weakest point, I thought to myself, well, if I can do it with two-handed, I should be able to do this one-handed. Okay, so we do just step back a little bit. So basically here, to outward, swinging up,
Yeah.
inward.
Yeah.
It's so funny that we've been through a similar, because I was at a point where I started to create one of the very, very big course that I have on the Mace, and
Right.
I just was like, I'm gonna figure like everything out. I'm gonna try everything, you know?
Sure.
Different directions, do this and that way, pivot, pivot in this way, pivot in that way, and try to connect every little part together with that. It's so fun to see and witness you having gone through a similar process.
It's a very
Because
similar.
you just need one. You need one option. You need one thing that you can lean on, and then when you start to program
start to build on it,
and then you can build the whole system around it.
Right.
And it's not necessarily that you're creating new movements, but you're applying all of the possibilities to those movements,
Sure.
which is, in basis, it's not that many options, but because you have so many places to go, the amount of options is.
It just becomes massive. It becomes massive.
Yeah, I think that was it for the body turns and the pivots.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No, that's all right.
It was really fun.
I'm sure you've got lots of goodies there.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of similar, but your terminology is different in the fact that we're all coming. There's only so many possibilities that we have with these tools.
Yes.
And it's only we can all kind of tap into the potential and what's possible.
Yes.
But then we have to create symbols out of it, and the symbols are always different because it's your experience, my experience, somebody else's experience.
Sure.
So it's interesting to always have to. Yeah, that's what language is, right? We're trying to communicate something that we understand and we know, and then we try to find the same words to actually get the same thing. Because when I started to figure out, you're actually using it for the front swing, then suddenly it's like, that's that one.
And I get what you were saying now, that when you demonstrate it with this one, actually, funnily enough, that makes it a lot clearer to me.
That's why it's so important to make the distinction between, for me, the Mace and the Gada, because it's so different because of the length and the weight distribution. It just gives so many different opportunities and possibilities. And once you actually start to use the lighter Mace or the shorter Mace, and you start to use the front swing, and that's why I think you would like this so much, because if you start to connect those together, it's so much similar to what you do with the
in fact, I'll have to try it with a hammer, but I'll give that because
try with that hammer.
That would be about the length of a Gada, or a steel Mace, wouldn't it?
Yeah, about. You just have to not hit yourself. But that would be a good way to start.
Yeah, okay. So I know. That's interesting because it's always put. I mean, I've got to be honest. It's put me slightly off that front swing, and I've watched people do it, and it makes it's a bit like swinging from the wrist. When I told you about when I first started with the steel Mace. Well, no. It's because you've got all the weight down there, and you've got your elbows bent. And you're actually swinging from the wrist as opposed to your elbow. And to my way of thinking, with Indian clubs, I've always gone on the premise that you have to have your arms straight. It's only when the club starts coming up here that you transfer to the. Various people. I can see them actually pulling up.
The good technique is actually having the contraction of the shoulder blades, shoulders down. And if you do it correctly and you let the weight hang, you have a saber grip.
Okay.
So you're not straining the wrist. So you're moving from hammer to saber. And only back after. But what you're really doing in that is using the bicep. In the same way that you use the tricep to hold it here. So it is the opposite what you're doing here. Because if you go in the backswing, you're not doing this.
No.
So you're also bending here, just like you would do here. But most of the people that do it, they either move their wrist like this, so it's a wrist exercise, or they pull up the traps to avoid the actual falling down. And that's actually, if you ground that, if you use that, those like little, then suddenly you can do a front swing with. I can do a front swing with 25 kilos.
Right.
Without overstraining. So it is technical. But that's what you would like.
Yes. Okay.
That's why I think you'd like it.
I'll have a little play with that now. Now that you've explained that to me.
Thanks.
There we go. My pleasure. My pleasure.
Are you ready to become the master of momentum? Pivots are highly underestimated in training, yet they occur often in daily life and in sports. You'll learn how to fluidly move around a heavy object while maintaining your ground. In this masterclass, you'll learn and master the art of the pivots. Pivots are the key to unlock your free flow and create beautiful movements. Are you ready? Join now on DutchFlowAcademy.com. Boom! Thank you for your attention. It's greatly appreciated. If you like the content, please consider to share, like, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to see similar videos, you can see them over here. If you're interested in learning more from me as a coach, I've got online courses on DutchFlowAcademy.com. Keep flowing, Ram Ram.